You got rats, you got informants, and you got confidential informants. These are three different things. Rats take the stand. Informants give information, but then you got confidential informants. They are the worst because they provide information and they wear the cloth of respectable criminals. When in reality, they're the ones feeding the information to the authorities. It's very hard to get papers on the confidential informant, and the confidential informant knows it. And that's why you hear most confidential informants say, "Where's the work?"
Money conversations, we've been making business moves. Contemplating how to get it, need to get in tune. Different topics, we got options, you could pick and choose. If more income ain't the outcome, gotta switch the mood. We tryna help you to improve, thanks for asking. Road to riches, speak on broker days and past tense. Wealthy habits, lately I just wanna stack chips. Took a risk and we've been running up a bag since. G-Vast Quest, quick to make a couple G's. Detox, spitting knowledge, put you on your feet. Bug out, got the plate, make sure to pray before you eat. At the table with the winners, come and take a seat.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what up? G-Vaz, where you at, baby?
I'm right here, bro.
No doubt. Detox.
What up?
Prime.
What up?
Mike.
Hey, Mike, what up?
Yo. For the next episode of Thanks for Asking, Southside Jamaica Queens. That's all I'm gonna say. Our next guest is the notorious Prince. He came to sit on our couch and tell his story. Yo, Detox, start the interview and drop the shit, boy.
Can I get a round of applause, please? Oh. What's up, brother?
Hey, none how the brother, man.
All right.
Good.
All right. Again, it is an honor to have you at this show. We are from Southside.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? This show is from Southside. You are Southside. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Appreciate the comment. Appreciate
you know what I'm saying? Deion said something, and he goes, if you can't tell a story without that person don't belong in the Hall of Fame. You can't tell the story of Southside without Prince or Supreme. If that ain't Hall of Fame, I don't know what is.
That's a fact.
That's a big
You know what I'm
fact.
saying? Like,
fact, yeah.
So we got to give you your honor. We got to give you your flowers because you don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? You here to help the youth. I am one of those youth. You I guess would say influence because I'm younger than you and. All I would do is respect you or remember you for the good things you did for the community. I mean, don't get it wrong, you definitely have made some mistakes, but you paid for those already.
Indeed.
You know
34 years and 6 months.
Wow.
You did it the right way.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Now I'm out here and I'm trying to make a difference, trying to educate children, teenagers, and young adults to prevent them from following my footsteps.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about. Yeah.
I like to hear that.
How old was you? How old are you right now?
I just turned 40.
40?
Yeah.
40. Well, you subtract.
I was 85.
Yeah, so subtract 34 years and 6 months from 40, and what would you have? What would that be?
34 years. That was probably was 6.
You was a baby.
A baby.
You know what I'm saying? So, what you heard was things from people that told you things and stuff like that, like, things I probably would do, because every time you see ice cream trucks come around, I'm buying all the kids stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking the whole ice cream truck and selling it out. It helps the business of the ice cream truck, and it helps the kids. So you probably heard a lot of different stories, but some things I'm proud of, some things I'm not. But I'm home now, and I'm trying to make a difference in a positive way.
You are making a difference. You're not
Ain't
trying.
no question.
You are
My
making
man
a
Bug
difference.
Out and G. What's
No,
up, man?
man?
Y'all good?
That's all right. You
No
know
question.
you out more, man. You know that.
question.
It's a good story stick,
Thank you,
For real.
brother. Appreciate that.
I guess I want to start at the beginning. Like, what was it like growing up? Did you have your parents? What was childhood like?
Of course, I grew up in South Jamaica. At the time when I was growing up, I can remember back, I think I was 10 years old, my moms and pops, they worked. They struggled, but they worked.
Right.
You know, I got 2 brothers, and I got a sister, younger brother, older brother. You know, and one thing about my parents, they always made ends meet. But it was always a struggle when I was young, as it was for a lot of families in South Jamaica at that time.
Yeah.
You're talking about 1973. And
that was the Claudine years.
Things were hard back then.
Right.
You know, it was a lot of families going through it, and the neighborhoods were rough, and you know, that's just what it was. But you know, you learn from the struggle. You know, so I just wanted to do it another way, different than what my father did. I didn't feel like struggling.
What was he?
He was a motorman. He was a train conductor. Then he was a motorman. He drove trains for a living.
So
he retired doing that too.
So you knew that early that you didn't want to. I guess.
Well, sometimes you have a misperception about life when you're a kid.
Right.
And you see people struggling, and you see them going through hard times, and you take it as if you don't want to go through that. But actually, that hard times define your character. So, but when you're a kid, you don't see that. You know what I mean? My thing is that I just took it to the streets and just did it a different way. You know, that's all.
So when did you? What you about to say?
No, I was just gonna ask him, what schools did you go to around?
I went to PS 116, which was in Bricktown, tough little elementary school.
Right.
Then I went to IS 8.
Right. Another
tough school. And IS 8 was we lived in an apartment building, 109, that's 15 Merrick Boulevard.
Right.
And it was right across the street, like a couple of blocks from IS 8. And after the killing of Clifford Glover, a 10-year-old kid, I was 10 years old at the time. Clifford Glover was 10 years old at the time.
Wow.
He was walking with his father to work on the weekends because he helps his father out. And they was approached by police officers in an unmarked car with no uniforms on. And they told him to stop, called them names. Hey, niggas, and they ran, and he got shot in the back. They wasn't doing anything wrong.
Oh, wow.
And after that happened, it was some riots, which at 10 years old, we was involved in, me and a couple of other people that I grew up with. But after that, we moved from there, and we moved closer to Baisley Projects. You know? Yeah.
So what happened during that time? Like, what did they march and riot and stuff?
Oh yeah, they marched, they riot. I ain't gonna even call it a riot. I'm gonna say uprising. I'm gonna say a protest. I don't want to use the word riot.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? But it was serious. You know what I'm saying? And I happened to be out there the night of the wake, and I was 10, and a lot of people was out there, that different gangs at the time that existed, and then you had a lot of 5%ers that was out there, and you know, and we happened to be out there, and we was involved in it, and it was wow. The first time I ever been involved in something like that. Yeah.
You wanted to finish off with the high school. What was the high school you wanted to?
I went to high school. I went to August Martin High School.
Alumni, August Martin alumni.
It was August Martin when you was growing up, or Woodrow Wilson?
It was. I think it was Woodrow Wilson at the time, but they changed it to August Martin.
Yeah.
Right, so I just call it August Martin. I also went to Francis Lewis. And I might have even went to Springfield High. I'm not sure. I've been to 3 different high schools, man, because I was.
Was that fighting and all that? Was that being kind of a knucklehead or tough?
Yeah, I probably was a little bit of a knucklehead. I definitely probably was that. Yeah.
I mean, it don't seem like it was like a tumultuous household within your household, outside of like the struggles of every other poor black family. How did you get into selling drugs, though?
Well, you know, in the neighborhood, that's what mainly I saw. And a lot of times you see what's in your environment and you mimic what you see.
Okay.
And so, as a 5%er, because after the Clifford Glover protest and the killing of Clifford Glover, that's when I became a 5%er. And as a 5%er, you're not even supposed to sell drugs, really. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, but a fraction of us peeled that way, and because it was lucrative at the time, we seen that it was lucrative at the time, and we got into that lifestyle.
So being a 5%er, knowing supposed to be the poor righteous teachers basically. How did you rationalize selling drugs to yourself?
Well, you can't make something wrong right. But my thing was, I wasn't going to be in there doing it for a long period of time.
Okay.
We ended up going to. I started off selling marijuana. First of all, that's the first drug I was selling, and then it graduated from there. And so I had went up north, and matter of fact, no, we went after we started selling. After I was selling marijuana, me and a friend of mine named Education, we end up going to the 150th Street because I saw my uncle down there with people. My uncle was down there selling on the block with others that was down there.
That was a house. That was like a hub.
Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols was down there, and so him Preem was selling drugs, for a guy named Time. Me and Education was selling drugs for a guy named. We would be inside the door, or he'll be inside, I'll be outside, and we were selling drugs out there. So we graduated down there because we saw others doing it, and it was lucrative, and we started selling it. We still was educating ourselves and educating others in 5%, being a 5%er. I would actually tell other people don't do it, and then I was doing that on the side. The only way we rationalized is that we making money, and we wasn't going to do it for a long time. That was before we actually became what would become known as the Supreme Team. So we was selling drugs for the older crew down there and whatnot. And,
I got you.
And they gave us a shot, and we took advantage of it before we peeled off and started doing our own thing and whatnot.
Like Preem Team was known. Were they a known group before that?
It was just loose people doing their
Right,
thing.
got you.
You know what I'm saying? Loosely, everybody was doing their thing. The police was crooked. They was letting you do it. It was open season. It was like you can, it was
Sure.
you can do what you want to do. That block on 150th Street was just
Like
everybody was coming in.
up there.
It was deep.
42nd Street.
Yeah.
So, did your uncle know? For the record, your uncle is Kenneth Supreme Mcgriff.
Yeah. Sure.
Another good brother. We interviewed his son. So.
Oh, his son did a podcast here before?
Yeah, he definitely did.
Okay.
Yeah, P2, that's our good friend.
Yeah,
that's like my brother, man. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Like, did he know you was selling when you started selling? Like,
Who? My uncle?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there first. He was on the block first, and then I came after that.
Did he give you advice like, don't do this, or it was like?
I don't remember if he did it.
You can remember, right?
I don't remember if he did it. Didn't. It wouldn't have mattered because
of course
not. Because I saw him doing it, so I'm gonna do it. He might have gave me advice, man. Be smart, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And whatnot.
Did he? That's why. And I guess that would be my next question. Like, did he give you a lot of game as far as working in that business?
Yeah, I learned. I'm a quick learner on anything I do. I watch, I listen, I look, I pay attention, and I watched and I studied it and whatnot. And so I play chess. I've been playing chess since I was 8 years old, and so I was in tournaments and everything. So if you know how to play chess, in order to win in chess, you got to think 8 moves ahead. So I was always trying to pay attention and whatnot. When I was on the block, I was learning fast. You know what I mean?
So how did the Supreme Team form then?
The Supreme. I went to prison afterwards. I got arrested with some people.
What year was this?
This was in 1981, I think.
Okay.
That's for weed? It was for weed?
Nah, that was for a robbery at the time, and I just happened to be coming out the store, and I got out. They was going. The truth is, I was coming out the store, and they were going to back around the way, and I got in the car, with a turkey sandwich, and I didn't realize what had happened.
Oh man!
And so what happened was, now we in the chase, and we driving through, and when the car crashed, we got out to run, cause I'm running now, and we all got caught.
Wow.
And you know, I stood up as always. You know what I'm saying? I learned from my uncles, keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? And my man Rasheem stood up, and but the other guy, he didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And we end up getting time.
Wow.
You know what I'm
How
saying?
long? How long?
I got 1.5 to 4.5.
Wow.
My man Raheem got 1 to 3. Cause I had a felony before, so I got more than Ra got. Ra got 1 to 3. I got 1.5 to 4.5. The other dude got time. I don't remember how much time he got, but he had a prior felony as well. You know?
How old was you at the time?
How old was I? I don't remember the age at the time. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
You was already a born hustling at that time.
no, I was actually on my way. I was asking them to drop me off on 150th Street.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah. This is just a true story. I was living in Long Island.
Yeah.
You know, on 451 Fulton Avenue, and it was a supermarket right across the street, and it was just the almost unlucky as shit.
It sounds like
I should have knew that they was when I seen, but I seen the car. Y'all going back around the way, get in, hurry up. I got in. We driving off, and boop. Next thing you know, it was a wrap.
Yeah,
it was a
That
wrap.
was just the luck of the draw right there.
Yeah, luck of the draw. Yeah.
Word.
But
So you get out.
yeah, I get out. Now at that time, the Preem had already had the team formulated, and I came out and smoothly transitioned right into it.
Did you
And it wasn't nepotism either.
That's what I was gonna ask
it
you.
wasn't nepotism because I started from the bottom.
I got you. I was
See,
going to ask you.
I was given something so small, and I turned it into something. And I got 2 of my closest comrades, both passed away now. I said, Cooley, knowledge, let's get money. In fact, I think Preem put me with one of them. I knew Knowledge already from the project. I knew Cooley from the area. And so we got down there, and it was just us 3. And then we started doing our part of the team with Preem and them. And we was building. And we was doing so good on the block, you know what I'm saying? And Preem he let me do a separate thing, but it's still with the team, you see? And so it was, that's how it started.
It gave you
That's
more
how I
responsibility as you
Yeah, because
started
I
showing-
proved myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I read this in Corey Piquet's book. I'm a business major. I got my MBA and all of that
Yeah.
stuff.
And before you go further, just so everybody know, I'm just giving you the history because you asked me the questions.
That's a fact.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
I do not glamorize the past of what was done, basically. But in order to show the kids and teach them about living a decent life or messing with that street life and what it can get you if you do, you want them to see it fully so
Right.
that they make their own judgments
Right.
about what is right and what is wrong. Because if they don't see the whole picture of that life, then they'll get a misperception. If they only believe what people speak about, rap about, or talk about, and don't really see how the dynamics of that life, they can make a wrong choice.
I agree.
You got to show them that the people that you hustle around may not stand up if they get arrested. And they may put you in jail so they can be out with their kids so you can't be with yours.
Right.
See, they might think that you can't lose your life in that game. You know, they might think that hustling, you should use drugs instead of hustling drugs. I mean, you can learn so much, but you got to give it to them raw. So when we speak about the past, it's only to educate them into the future of the choices that you make.
Yeah.
Because everything is a choice. So we made choices back then that cost me 34 years in prison, right? And so when we speak, we're not here glamorizing that life.
No,
Although we speaking about it, it's not to glamorize it.
Right.
You feel me? And because a lot of people, you know, you got these podcasters these days. They, you know, and that's another thing. I'm gonna maybe cut back to it later. You got these podcasters that sit up there trying to get the clicks and the subscribers and get the check and everything. But they ain't keeping it actually thorough, a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? There's many that do. I can actually name them, but I don't need to get into that. But there's some that's full of crap. And that's the reason why I will be doing a podcast soon. Once a week.
Nice.
And what I'm gonna do once a week is address all the crap that these fake podcasters speak about on
Preach.
that they speak about on their platforms.
Right.
That's right.
I'm gonna take it and tear it apart if it's fake.
Yeah.
Because on my podcast, anything that's said is going to be real, it's going to be thorough. The people that I invite is going to be proper. It'll be entertainers, it'll be rappers, it'll be regular people from the street. And we're going to talk thorough.
What about us?
Huh?
What about us?
Oh, y'all, I'm sitting,
Nah,
I'm sitting here with y'all.
Right.
You know, a person might ask me, why would you do a podcast with a smaller,
On a small platform.
a small platform? You know what I tell them?
What you tell them?
I say, first of all, I hustled here. I ran this whole area around here, right? Why would I not come to give some individuals who trying to create their platform, why would I not appear before them, black-owned business,
That's
upcoming
right.
black-owned
We
business,
wanna say thank you, bro.
and help.
For real.
We
look,
want to say thank you,
but let me
bro.
finish and help them out with their platform. I don't care if nobody else want to speak to me because I started small. That don't bother me because it's not about starting big or small. I feel like you should give an opportunity to people who deserve it. And then I see
Can
somebody.
I clap that up? I'm not cutting you off. I want to clap that up what you just said, bro.
No,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
real.
Ain't no question. And let me just refine it even more. If nobody helped the little man and always went to the big man, then the little man ain't got a shot.
That's a fact.
So
You got that right.
Word.
I mean, I ain't no, I don't see myself as no big person to be interviewed or not be interviewed.
Yeah.
I know when I speak, I'm gonna speak some real stuff. I'm gonna speak the truth. It ain't gonna be no crap. It's just like Preem. When we say something out our mouth, when we speak and say something, one thing we gonna do, we gonna speak the truth, and we not gonna play games with our words. Take it or leave it, because we rarely speak. So I'm speaking with y'all now. I may not speak or may speak to some other podcast. But whenever I speak, it's going to be substantive. It's going to be real.
Right.
And you can take it for what it is.
Right.
I'm definitely not them other characters that you see on up
Right.
there. But when I do kick that podcast off once a week, it's going to be thorough. And people going to say, yo, I'm going to watch that every week. Because you're going to walk away from there, not only with education, but with knowledge. And it don't matter if you a child, a teenager, or a young adult. And that's why I said, you know what, I'm gonna come here because you give the little guy a shot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Speaking of knowledge, again, I'm a business major. I'm always infatuated with how business is done. He broke down the way you guys had a system of selling drugs where it was a 9 to 5. They was 3 shifts. People had certain positions and you had to work it. If you guys didn't go to college, that's Fortune 500. You ran a Fortune 500 company. Like, understand what that is. Like that ain't no small feat.
Yeah. No, it's not. It took a lot of work.
How did that where did y'all get these ideas from? And how did y'all implement it to the point where you guys made some significant cash? Allegedly. No, it wasn't allegedly. It was reality. And then to be honest with you, contrary to what people think, we don't talk about it because we don't try to brag about nothing. We sold weight too. We sold keys too.
Right.
We just people who know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was a time when my uncle was out. He showed. We had stuff on the street and we had weight. And we had all sorts. You know what I'm saying? Of drugs, really. You know what I'm saying? Heroin back in those days, stuff like that. But when he went to jail, my mission was to expand, and we expanded, and we kept it going 24 hours a day. We did that, what you just said. And
Where you was getting those ideas from?
That
When
shit
you
was
saying
to
that?
me
Where
it
did
was
that idea come
incredible. Like, Kids from
we
Southside.
just had it. It was around the shift, and what we did. I studied in jail. I went to college in prison when I was upstate. So I studied business, and I came home with that acumen, and I implemented it into the streets. I went and I was not only studying that, I was also reading a lot of books and on the side, and we kept it going 24 hours, like you said. You know what I'm saying? and shit. But we had certain things that we wouldn't do. We wasn't gonna sell to pregnant women. We wasn't selling to no kids and shit like that. That's something that we said we would do. I did that myself with Cooley Knowledge and them, and we just started doing that. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. But like I said, nobody's proud of that. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
But
You know what I'm
those
saying?
things show that you had a conscience.
Yeah.
You had morals. You had ethics, even in the midst of making misguided decisions and stuff like that.
Yeah. You know, and it was a song, I think Jay-Z said it was Change Clothes. Inside that song, he said he don't knock, he wasn't trying to, and there, it was a verse in there where he said, I don't knock what you do for money, you know what I'm saying? Because you're back against the wall, this and this and that. So, you know, I would tell people today, there's always another way. Like right now, that game is dead. That drug game, I would never be in today's time selling drugs, man. You know what I'm saying? And even back then, I didn't have to do that. I could have took another route. You feel me? But the point is, that's not how I saw it.
Right.
When you grow up in a certain environment, all you can see is that. There was no internet.
No.
There was no Instagram, and you couldn't see the world like that. All you saw was right there in front of you, the suffering. You know what I'm saying? And so the selling drugs was you thought was a way out. You know what I'm saying? It actually was a way into the penitentiary. Yeah.
1985, your uncle goes away. He leaves it to you. What did that feel like to be the leader? To have basically you kind of had like the weight of an entire organization a Fortune 500 company. You know, how did that feel, and what was your vision? And you know, that had to be a lot.
Well, when Preem went away in '85, I ended up going away later on myself, you know, but then I came right back out. But it was, remember, I had my side of the team, but I was also able to be in control of everything, you know what I'm saying, that was there, because he had lieutenants for everything, you know what I'm saying? So what I did, though, was organize it like to the T, like to the T. We had security, we had everything. It was organized to the T. You had people that bagged up, people that did different things. It was organized to the T, and it got more organized because I was I always liked to study military and study organizations and stuff. So I was on some security-minded, organized stuff. You know what I mean? And we really shaped it into like organized crime in a way. So,
You know what's when you organize like that, right? You probably was thinking at that time you would never get caught.
We always think that. Everybody,
but you were so organized though.
Like,
so
you had it down to a T, man.
Everybody thinks they ain't never gonna get caught.
Yeah.
But most of the people, like Preem always said, we're not in this forever. We're getting up out of here. But he also said, if you can't serve a life sentence, he didn't say, I don't know where they got the 10-year shit from. If you can't do life, get out the way. Yeah. Because you might get more than 10 years. Man, if you can't do life, get the fuck out the way. You're in the wrong business, because you might face life. So that lifestyle is something, man.
It is.
Because you'd be surprised that that's why I try to tell kids now. Anytime I speak, I try to tell them, leave them streets alone. Because when it comes to doing the time part, a whole different ball game.
Sure is.
You know
How old was you when you went in?
I think for the Fed bit, I think I was 27 maybe.
Damn.
I think I was 27 or 28.
Damn.
27, 28 years old. March 21st, 1990.
Right. Because I think they tried to put a murder rap, like a triple homicide on you.
Yeah, they did. They tried to, I was in prison and they accused me of ordering it, but it's not true. It was a lie.
Wasn't.
Because first of all, you got to think about it. Them people are bringing us so much money.
Yeah.
The Colombians, they're giving us bring so much money. And I told them, since I had to go to prison, man, we shut down.
Right.
But of course, they want to make money and they continue, and that was on them. But I never ordered them. That's why I beat it. For
Right.
real, So, but that story's getting ready to come out. I don't want to give too much story.
Okay.
That's gonna come. That's gonna come out.
Right,
That's
right,
gonna
right.
come out in the Supreme Team series.
Okay.
That's when that'll come out.
Okay.
So
that was incredible.
and it's gonna be deep.
Yeah, 'cause I was watching
You
some-
finally get the real from that.
Right.
I was found not guilty, state and federal.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And it was the rats in the case who pulled. That's all I can say for now. That pulled a scam.
Wow.
Not none of the solid men in
Yeah.
in the case. You feel me? So
But to hear that, Tom, though, did it make you like?
Yeah, I before you say that, because we kind of on the same page. When all that stuff was, when you got arrested, March, you said March,
1990.
I know it was March of 1990. Like, what was going through your head when that whole thing was coming? Like, that got to be incredible.
It is.
And to stand tall,
Word.
everybody clearly, everybody don't do that.
yeah, everybody don't do that. That's hard. Bro.
Word. To hear that.
It's hard to know what,
Word.
that you can face the rest of your life, and then
Word.
this is the reason. And this is something else I wanted to talk about too.
Right. Talk about
Because I
it.
don't want to get into too much detail, but
Okay.
I want to explain something to your viewers and to whoever else watches this.
Okay. Right.
You got rats, you got informants, and you got confidential informants. These are three different things. Rats take the stand, whether it be grand jury or trial. And informants give information and don't necessarily have to ever take the stand. But then you got confidential informants. They are the worst because they provide information and they wear the cloth of respectable criminals. When in reality, they're the ones feeding the information to the authorities while you're doing your thing, and they're right there with you doing your thing. And the thing with the rats, the difference between the rats, the informants, and the confidential informants is, it's very hard to get papers on the confidential informant, and the confidential informant knows it, and that's why you hear most confidential informants say, "Where's the work?"
Oh wow.
See, and the reason why that happens is because they know their handlers protect their work so seriously. Now, that's not to speak about no in particular person. I'm just speaking in general. I'm speaking in general, in a general sense, because I want to educate the public.
Right.
And I'm hoping, and that's the reason why I took this small but respectable podcast.
Show.
Before putting my own out and before appearing on any others. In my podcast, I'm gonna get specific about the individuals that I'm talking about. And I'm gonna provide you with the proof so you can see how it works. I will bring papers to show you the difference between a rat, an informant, and a confidential informant. And it's not because I'm not trying to hurt nobody, because that's not my intention. I don't live that way no more. I don't want to have a problem with nobody, right? But I want to educate everybody. So my job is to educate the youth, because if I see some youngsters thinking about trying to sell drugs in the street, right? And they got people around them, I want to let them know it may not go the way you think.
Right.
Because some of the people around you might be the people that take you away for the rest of your life from your family.
Yeah.
So I'm going to teach and educate about law, the system. I'm going to talk about news. I'm going to speak to some solid rappers, some entertainers, and we're going to talk real and we're going to be thorough. Once a week, I'm going to have it. I'm going to look at all the blogs, and every time I see people talking, I'm going to be writing down what they're saying, and then I'm going to have that 1 day a week podcast, and we're going to lay it out and cut up. And when I'm finished, the people who are watching those fake podcasts, they'll be watching mine and people like yours and the thorough ones that you see Gilio and them, they got good.
Goddamn,
you know,
you
they
right.
they joint is good. You know what I'm saying? And there's a couple of others. I like Drink Champs. I
Right.
like a bunch of these podcasts. A couple of Jada
Oh,
and
yeah.
Joe. I like certain podcasters.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But for the ones that are milking the system,
We gonna say Bag Fuel too. They rock with us. SO and them. He from Southside.
I'm getting new to this. I don't know.
Right,
I don't
right,
know
right,
everybody.
right.
I might have left a whole bunch of good ones out.
Yeah.
because I don't know all of them. But guess what?
He's Queens. That's why I brought that up.
But listen, I'm gonna start watching every last one of them because what I'm seeing going on now, I'm so glad to see it. We trying to sell a documentary that's educational about law, order, and the courts and the system.
Right.
Instead of focusing on the real things, people pick up on a small little thing
Right.
and run with it, right? As if that was the most important thing.
Right.
Nobody even cares about that little thing that they running with. That's something that's irrelevant. But since y'all want to make it a topic, I'm going to make it a topic now. And now I'm going to address everything. And what I'm going to do in mine, I'm going to make sure that people know the difference, like I said, between a rat, an informant, a confidential informant. I'm going to let them understand how the system works. And there are people who, you got the thing about life is this. You got people who act like they want to be gangsters, right? But then don't want you to know that they pranksters. That they don't want you to know that they were scared to death to do that time.
Right.
Or they want you to know that they don't want you to know that they're confidential informants. They don't want you to know that they rats.
Right.
They don't want you to know that they informers.
Right.
You got to be one or the other. You know what I'm saying? And you can't play games because people playing games with people's lives with their fake words.
That should carry influence.
Right, and it's bad for the kids. And It's bad for the kids watching. It's bad for society. You got people now glorifying people like Nicky Barnes. They'll do a movie about Nicky Barnes, Frank Lucas, these dudes who didn't honor anything.
Right.
But just because they made some money. You know, I was always told by Preem, right? Oh, he cut. I was always told by Preem, right? Preem always say this all the time. We don't respect people just because they got money. That's for suckers to do. We respect people when you see the struggles they went through, how they handled their struggles, and who they helped along the way. I could care less about how much money somebody got. I made money too. And I could still make money. That's not what impresses me. What impresses me, how did you handle your struggles? How did you handle the things when you were tested? How did you handle yourself when you were tested? So a lot of these people who were tested, folded, but they want to hide the fact that they fold.
Shame.
You see? And now you got podcasters pumping this stuff and they tricking the kids, the teenagers, children, and young adults. They tricking them about that life. There ain't gonna be no tricks when my podcast come out. And I'm glad that y'all called me here because I've been wanting to say something. I've been trying to be quiet and just focus on doing movies, documentaries, and my books coming out.
The documentary of Supreme Truth is great too. Just to let you know.
Hey, listen, it be getting rave reviews.
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
said
Yes.
it. Look,
Yes.
I can prove it. I can take all the people who've been let me tell you something. I love my supporters. The people who support me on Instagram or Facebook or Vimeo, the people that I read all y'all messages, man. I may not be able to answer a lot, but I read all of them, and I'm telling you, man, this is why I look at the people who support people like the Nas supporters, Jay-Z supporters, Mary J. Blige supporters. I look at you know why supporters like they people they for is because they feel an attachment to them as being real, right? And you know these are entertainers though and stuff, right? But when it comes to podcasters, I'm going to do my best to siphon from these fake jokers all their people. The only people that won't come to my joint is people who are just like the fake dudes that they be listening to.
Right.
They either twisted mentally,
Yeah.
They either sham artists, they either hot themselves or something,
Yeah.
whatever it is. But when I finish speaking and breaking down what I see, they'll be moving away from them and coming to me. And it's gonna be vicious. That's why I can only do once a week.
Yeah.
Because this ain't my thing, man.
Yeah, yeah.
But I gotta speak to the people now.
Right, right.
It's, for instance, my uncle, he locked up.
Yeah.
He put out a documentary. It ain't about no small issue. It's about his life, his freedom, and what happened to his case, right?
And it was an injustice.
But he's not out here to speak for himself now. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to take up all the questions here. Y'all don't mind me speaking, right? So now he's not out here to speak for himself.
Right. Because I was getting into that anyway.
I don't like speaking like this.
Yeah.
I really don't. But now they done energized me where I'm going to do it, right? And so I got to speak up for him.
Yeah.
You got people saying crazy stuff. You got one guy, the dude got the podcast, and I ain't even going to say the dude's name. I'm just going to speak about the issue, right? Because I'll speak about the dude himself on my joint.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You got a dude that made a podcast. Anybody know when you accuse somebody of something that they was never been charged with, as if they did a crime, you automatically liable. You can't even win that suit. If I was to say something about somebody, a criminal act to somebody that they didn't do, right? I accuse them of something they didn't do, I can be held for defamation of character, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's hard, you can't even win that one. It's a certain kind of defamation, right? You got dudes that get on the podcast and accuse a man of a crime that he ain't never been convicted of, right? So now, one particular dude accused my uncle of a crime, right? Back in the days, a dude accused you of something and they trying to destroy your reputation, in front of your kids is watching, the kids see things or whatever, you accusing somebody of doing something they didn't do or whatever it is, whether you think they did it or not. Back in the days, you handle that shit differently.
Right.
But nowadays, and especially with people who did 34 years, people trying to come home, people trying to live their life right, we ain't trying to go back to jail. We trying to enjoy life, enjoy our children, our grandchildren, right? Mm-hmm. And so you have to think, well, dude say, oh man, he put the police on me because the police had to bring a defamation suit to a man's door, right? Mm-hmm. Because you defamed him and accused him of crimes he didn't commit in front of the world. And now you crying because you getting ready to pay, my man. And then you go on and you make some more stuff recently. And then all it's gonna do is add to the lawsuit. And so now he crying as you taking food out my kid's mouth. What about what you said? You accused this man of three different crimes.
Trying to destroy his reputation.
So that is not telling or snitching because a dude put a defamation suit on you. Nobody's stupid. We know what snitching is.
Yeah.
We know what ratting is. We know what telling is. If a lady gets a purse stolen and she goes to the precinct and says, this guy stole my purse, she ain't snitching, ratting, or informing. She's a law-abiding citizen doing her job. She got robbed. She's not a gangster. She's not a tough guy. She ain't gonna shoot the dude in the head for grabbing her purse. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
She got to go to the police because she's a law-abiding citizen. Yeah. I wouldn't even call her no rat.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
100%.
What I call ratting, informing, and snitching is when you a part of something, you oath that you ain't never gonna do that. You oath that you can do life and whatever it takes, regardless if you ever get caught for what you did. But then you turn around and when shit happen, you either openly telling on the stand or you quietly telling, you know what I'm saying, in the grand jury, or you straight up and down, straight confidential informant. You feel me?
Right.
And like I told you about confidential informants before, there is work on them, but not the kind of work you would see from a straight rat or an informant. See, a rat and informant, you see the grand jury transcripts, you see trial transcripts, you see DD5s, you see 305s. I'm gonna explain what those are in my podcast, right? These are documents where people give things to the police officers or to the agents and whatnot, right? Stay with me for a minute.
I'm here.
And so, right? But in confidential informants, all you see is CS1, CS2, CS this, CS that.
Right.
Right? Confidential informants. Hence the word confidential informants. But the key is this. The key is with the confidential informants is the people whose case it is know better than anybody, because the people whose case it is know who was where and what. And so when you have search warrants or you have certain documents that got CS what that hides the person's name, all you do is show the people you're talking to. This is what hasn't been done.
Right.
You take this search warrant and you let the people, like if I'm a podcaster, I'm going to take a search warrant and I'll show it to the audience. This is the search warrant. Read it. Everybody here, read the search warrant.
Yes.
Now I'm going to tell you what happened, so you know what happened. And then you tell them what happened, and it's easy for the people to see, oh yeah, he was a confidential informant. You see? And so my point is that, you know, people play games. These podcasters play games. They trick these youth.
Yeah.
They trick people that they talking to. They get people to make comments and don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
For instance, let me
No, I was just fixing.
let me give you another example. And I don't mean to take over. I know you got questions for me, right?
Hey,
but y'all invited me
cooking
here.
right now.
Hey, don't never invite me somewhere
Yeah.
if you don't want me to speak. Right?
That's why.
That's right. So let me give you another example. People say, well, what took so long? Why this dude ain't say this about this person or that person or this person or that person? Right?
Yeah.
And they forget something. My case and Preem's case in 1985 happened so long ago. There was no internet. There was no Instagram.
Right.
We had Tandy 1000 computers connected to nothing. You couldn't tell the whole world that somebody did this or did that. But guess what? One thing one thing we did do, we told South Jamaica. And the whole South Jamaica know who's a confidential informant, who's a rat, and who's an informant in any case that happened in South Jamaica Queens.
Look, I got to say this, man, and I'm only bringing this up because I watched the documentary, and Preem announced somebody who was a CI, confidential informant, for 40 years. We interviewed him. I'm not a street dude. I didn't know none of that shit.
Yeah, we had him on the show.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know none of this shit. You know, I hear Bimmy. I hear him as a good dude. I'm not doing that sort of thing. You know, brothers like you wasn't home to say that. Did y'all know he was an informant for 40 years?
Is that your take on it? Though?
First of all,
That's his.
if you
right,
notice,
exactly.
I did everything I can not to mention people's names, right?
Right.
You can take it out if you don't want it.
No, about who was what.
Okay.
Right? But I don't duck questions.
Right.
I don't duck questions. I'm going to answer your question.
Okay.
And I'm going to answer it this way. I have a podcast coming out soon. In my podcast, any questions that people are unsure of and anything that podcasters are playing the 50 with, gonna be expressed, cleaned up, and cleared up.
Ooh, listen. You gonna get that? You gotta watch. You gotta get the podcast. You gotta watch the podcast. You gotta watch it.
And look, the only reason I'm doing it is not to embarrass nobody. Nobody. The only reason I'm doing it is because I want to educate the children, teenagers, and young adults about staying away from that street life. Because if you ain't dedicated to it, if you ain't prepared to do life in prison, leave that stuff alone, because you don't want to be away from your family for the rest of your life. Because you got people who will hustle with you that will not go down with you, that are they don't want to leave their children. They don't want to leave their kids, but they don't got no problem taking you away from your kids and your family and putting you in a graveyard, buried alive in the penitentiary for decades. So instead of me trying to deal with individual people, I'll deal with that on my podcast. Right
Gotcha.
now, I'm trying to educate.
Okay.
Even my podcast is going to be about educating.
That's why I'm telling them to watch, because I'm taking notes, baby.
Let me tell you what you're going to learn. You're going to learn, forget talking about Bimmy for a minute, right?
Correct.
Because you brought his name up.
Yeah.
No, I don't duck no questions, right?
Yeah,
but forget
yeah.
talking about him for a minute.
Because it's bigger than that.
It's bigger than that. What I'm talking about is so many people have been confidential informants, and how society and even Hollywood a little bit, they glamorize the people who are rats, informers, and rats. Look, Hollywood, certain podcasts, they glamorize the snitch, the confidential informant, and the rat, right? And the informant. They don't glamorize solid people that can get them even a better story.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I liked watching. I was in the penitentiary. I used to watch Snowfall. I liked the way they put Snowfall together.
Yeah.
The writers were excellent. I even liked the way they put together. I even liked the way 50 put together Power. Mm-hmm. Because he's from the South Side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what he did was he learned things, man. And he took a little bit from the South Side and he put a story together.
Right.
But the Supreme Team story, where he clips both of those, you feel me?
Yeah.
Especially if I'm one with them writers, you feel me? So whoever's interested, or if you're not interested, it don't matter, because
Right.
truth be told, I'm already starting the Bible. I'm already starting the deck. I'm already in work. I'm already working.
Okay.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But back to what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
This is why I don't like to just pinpoint. I'm not going to pick on.
No,
I'm not,
it wasn't
no, listen. I'm not going to pick on one motherfucker. I'm going to expose all them jokers. Especially, really, mainly the ones from New York.
Right.
There's so many, and I'm going to say it. And that's another thing. I have no fear. I've been to every damn near neighborhood in Queens. I don't have no fear. I
Right.
walk around, and I always teach about staying away from that lifestyle.
Correct.
And most of my people, the majority of people that was involved in the Supreme Team, they ain't even criminals no more. But they all here. You understand? They all free, living their lives free. They ain't no suckers. They stood up. The ones that I'm talking about stood up, and they doing positive things in the community. They involved with organizations. But we ain't no suckers. We don't bother nobody, but we believe in the right to self-defense through the Bible and through what the Lord says is permissible if anybody should do something to you.
Correct.
That being said, man, we ain't stunting none of these jokers that's faking.
No doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
The rats,
no doubt.
the so-called tough rats, the ones who think that they can scare people.
Right.
Nah, you ain't scaring us. You ain't scaring me. And we living a decent life.
Yes.
As long as nobody bother me, I ain't bothering them.
Correct.
But in self-defense, I'm a master at that. So that's all I
I'm
can
gonna
say.
take your word for it.
But like I told you, I'm living a whole different lifestyle. You don't even see me really unless I'm doing something positive, man.
Right.
I mean, I'm seeing you a lot now.
I did a lot of talking, man. Ask me some questions.
I was gonna say, ask you some questions, man.
Well, to go back, because you're facing, you're locked up. You're facing life, basically.
Not just life, more than life.
Several lives.
wow.
You know what I'm saying? They was on some
90, right?
die
You're
2
talking about
times,
90.
come back, do 4 more years type of life. Like
Wow.
they wanted you. They said the state you beat the state, and then the feds picked up the case, and you're in jail for 32 years. Like when you first of all, when you hear the sentence, what's going through your mind? And then how did you survive 34 years inside?
That's what I wanted to know.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, man, prison is completely different than the street life, man. You got to be on your toes, man. It's all kind of stuff going on in there. Prison, but there's some similarities. Prisons got confidential informers. They got rats. They got snitches. They got everything that society got. The only difference is when it comes to the convicts, there's no rules except our own rules. And the police stay out the way of them. And so it's doggy dog. You better be on your game. It's times you might have to walk around with that knife on you. It don't matter how good you are with your hands, because you might not be able to take down 3 or 4 motherfuckers trying to gut you out and take you out. Then you got homies that might put you in danger, right? And you can be walking around, you doing nothing wrong, and you can get hit in your head or stabbed in the back and get killed because your homie stole from somebody's cell. You know, so that prison life is nothing to play with. But the main thing you're supposed to be doing when you in there is trying to get out. Sunayata Akoli once told me, he was a BLA member that was with the Southside Jamaica thing, and he once said, "Yo, man, the duty of a slave is freedom." He would sit me down and Allen would say, "Prince, you see all these guys walking around doing all this nonsense. Stay focused on getting out of here, man. That's your only goal, man, because you're a slave right now." And that's what twisted my mind and said, "Hold up, what am I doing? Let me start getting out of here." Because there was a time when I basically ran almost everywhere I went when it came to the people I dealt with.
Okay.
And then it came a time when I got to start thinking about getting out of prison. The only reason why I did that is so that I can get out of prison.
Right.
Because I don't want nobody hitting me in the damn head for something somebody else did.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I try to focus on, when I start seeing Guy Fisher go home, William Bill Underwood, I love them guys go home. I said, Pete Monsanto, I said, let me get on my job and go home and get up out of here. Stop worrying about this penitentiary stuff. And that's what I did. But I got a thing for teaching and speaking and trying to stop violence and trying to help people.
Right.
That's why I took this podcast, because I knew y'all would give me free reign to be able to speak
Absolutely.
and still ask me some questions. I don't care. I don't care about it being small. I guarantee you, when you put that thing up, I guarantee you people gonna come listen to what I gotta say.
You better
Whether they
believe
like
that.
what I gotta say or whether they don't.
Right.
You better
That's right.
believe
They gonna listen to
See,
that shit.
and guess what? Depending on the questions the person asks me, it's always going, one podcast is gonna always be different from the next.
That's what
Exactly.
I was trying to tell you earlier.
Yeah, one
before.
podcast is gonna be different from the next. And they talking to a hell of an intelligent individual right here.
Absolutely.
You ain't gonna just buffalo me in no podcast.
Right.
I'm not going for it. You know what I'm saying? And so if you either want it or you don't, or I walk out.
Yeah.
But the thorough podcasters, they respect talking to a good man who served his time, who's trying to come home and do right by the community to make up for the mistakes of selling drugs in his community in the past.
Let
They
me ask you
respect
this
that.
though. Shout out to Lou Sims, because we interviewed Lou Sims, another solid brother. Did you
That's right.
Did you
Shout
meet
out
him
to
in
Lou.
there?
Yeah, I met Lou. I
Really
know
good
Lou
dude.
Sims. Lou Sims is a friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? He's solid, good dude. And we seen each other maybe in the state or maybe in the feds once. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
Right,
I was
right.
locked up 34 years, 6 months. It's a long time. But me and Lou are straight. Me and Lou are tight, and we communicate. We call each other off and on. So,
Lou is
yeah. But
man.
yeah.
That's our OG too,
That's a
man.
fact.
Like he hit us up, check on us all the time. Like
Yeah.
that's a really much like you. Like he don't have to do that, but he tapped in, man, all the time. Like
I don't care. Listen, I told you this documentary we got, the Supreme Truth, right?
right.
And I told you about my supporters, and on Instagram, my
Yeah.
supporters on, and big up to my supporters. Be at 24,000. We trying to go higher.
Oh,
right?
to get there.
And
It's
it's going to get
consistency.
there because I'm gonna keep it thorough. I love my support. I was speaking about everybody supporters in entertainment business.
Yeah.
I see why they be caring about their supporters, right? I love my supporters. My Vimeo, the supporters that's going to Vimeo through my website, www.princemillernyc.com. I love you, all you guys. I appreciate y'all. The ones on YouTube right now, and anywhere else I'm at.
Instagram,
Right?
everybody.
Instagram. I appreciate y'all to the fullest, man. And there's so much more to come. And so I just want to say that, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot.
Speaking of stand-up individuals, how did you build your relationship with Nas?
Nas, man, that's my brother, man. That's my brother right there, man. We spoke on the phone while I was in the penitentiary, and I remember our first conversation, and that's why I like him a lot, man. He's so thorough and whatnot. We were speaking to each other, and I had drugs in Queensbridge a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and
I
so
didn't know that.
yeah, I've been all over. I've been everywhere in Long Island.
Damn.
Out here, Queensbridge, everywhere, a few places, right? But anyway, but that's not what we spoke about at all.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? But Nas always, when he rap, he mentions names and he keeps us alive a little bit. But he mentioned something, he said something to me about being a legend. I said to him, I said, you know what, man? I said, you legendary. I said, I may be a legend, but I'm a legend for the wrong reasons, but you're legendary. I said, Nas, if I go to South Africa, they won't even know who I am. But if you go to South Africa, the minute you get off the plane, they gonna know who you are, because you legendary. And he said, man, you right, man. But you know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, I love that brother, man. And I'm proud of him. I'm proud of his pops and his family, man. I like the way he moves, man.
Oh, yeah.
He moves proper. But it's a couple of more I'm proud of.
Right.
But I'm actually, now I know with him I communicate more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people like them don't mind reaching out to people like me.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mind extending their hand and reaching out and staying in touch and communication. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because first of all, it's a two-way street. We can learn from each other.
Right.
Not just him, it's a couple of other ones. I like
Jadakiss. I see you got a great relationship with Jadakiss as well.
Jadakiss, Nas. And I'm gonna tell you, it's something that I haven't spoken to. I'm proud that they came up.
Right.
And they doing what they got to do, man, because it's a hard life for us blacks, man, in the streets. And I like the fact that people made it out and they came up.
Right.
I like the fact that they're using their talents to come up and live their lives, man. Mm-hmm. I ain't about seeing people not be successful. You see, right. I want to see people be successful, man.
Right.
Who doesn't? Why do everybody hate so much? When it come to our race, we hate so much on each other for no reason.
Yeah.
I can understand if somebody did you wrong.
Right.
But sometimes you gotta let go of the past, man. Sometimes. Like, it was a comment made on the podcast. Somebody said today, something around, I didn't listen to it, somebody else told me. Somebody said something around the fact that they worrying about this person. Why Premium do nothing to this other dude that told him that's in the street right now? Why they ain't do nothing to him? So basically, this dude wants us, me specifically, to bring harm to somebody.
To go back in.
When our job is to stay out here and to get our uncle out here. As long as you ain't putting your hands on me and I ain't putting my hands on you, we good.
Right.
If a dude told on me before, right, I don't want to see him.
Yeah.
But if I see him, I ain't gonna hurt him.
Yeah.
I might ask him, man, yo, nigga, why you do that?
And it's over.
You know what I'm saying? I might ask him that. Why you do that? I don't know what I might really do.
Right.
But listen to me. My point is, I've been in that situation already since I've been home. Right?
Did you ever ask that individual?
No question I did. You know what I'm
did
saying?
He give a response?
No question. You know what I'm saying? But it's a bigger picture too.
Right.
See, people don't understand. Let me give you an example. When you talk about the Supreme Team, when you deal with the Supreme Team, you got to remember that we know each other's families. I know the families of all the people who were Supreme Team members, right?
Right.
So that means I got close to their kids, or I helped maybe raise them, or I might be a godfather to their kids, or I might know their mothers. So I don't really want to hurt somebody's mother's feelings. You do something to somebody's son, and then you can cause their mother to have a heart attack.
That's a real
right?
thing.
So my point is, I'm not trying to look to hurt nobody, man. And most of all, when it comes to people's kids, whether a dude told or not, right? I don't hurt people's children or their families. I don't do that.
Right.
And so my thing is, man, I try to make dudes understand, bro. I'd be wanting to know what made you do something like that.
That's why I'm a little interested in when you said you seen somebody and you actually asked that. I'm curious in the response.
What the answer, right? What was the answer? It was a
lot of times people don't face the people they, you know what I'm saying?
I bet you it was uncomfortable.
It was not for me.
No,
not for you. That's why that's a real thing.
The reason why it wasn't uncomfortable for me is because of this reason. I did my time like a man. That speaks for itself, right? And That's proof that you can never be like me, right? I walk that walk, right? And just the fact that I can sit in front of you, right, and not result to who I might have been in the past, and you know, do something that can put me back in prison is a testament that I grew. You feel me? So my point is that all I care about now is this, right? You know, I take care of I make sure my parents are good. You know, my daughter, my grandchildren, the people I care about, my comrades that's still my comrades, you know, and I'm trying to make a difference. I'm not, the stuff that happened while I was in prison, that happened with others, it wasn't me. I wasn't out here. I'm concerned with what's happening with my life now. But anybody that hurt me, that put me in jail and put me in prison, I see them. I've seen one. I'm not going to hurt nobody. I'm not going to do nothing to nobody. That's not how I'm living. I'm going to seek an understanding with that person.
Yes.
And find out, yo, why did you do this to me?
Yeah.
Why did you do this to us? Mm-hmm. You know, now, you know, the dude might want to make amends, yo, man. But, you know, it's one thing to talk, it's one thing to do. Because, you know, you can put a lawsuit on somebody, right? And they got to pay you for the damage they caused you, right? Well, in the street, it's the same way. If a dude want to make amends with you, you can make amends. I ain't going to fuck with you, though. Right. And don't think I might keep my mouth shut about what you did. I never kept my... That's another thing I want to say. You hear people on the thing, why nobody said... I said this before a minute ago. I think I addressed it.
Yes.
People, we been told people who ain't right. Ain't nothing new. That's why so many people in Queens, New York, mainly South Jamaica, they know who ain't right. You know? They know who ain't right. It ain't nothing. We been telling people. We don't hide nothing. You feel me? And we gonna continue to. But now the game is to be sold, not just told.
That's a fact.
And so yeah, it's going when that Supreme Team series come out, yeah, you're gonna see everybody from Queens who went bad, and you're gonna see some guys from New York that went bad too. This shit gonna be epic, man, because it all relates to the story. Feel me?
Right.
This shit gonna make Stove Floor and Power look like kids play. The only question is the person that's gonna be the one rocking with me on it. I already know one person. He got a seat at the table already, right? He is a seat. He's solid. He's with me, right? But there's others involved. You feel me? You know, and I'm sorry I'm taking over this podcast again,
man,
right?
no, man, God.
But I love these little ones because they let you rock.
We definitely gonna let you
See?
rock.
And so that's the good thing about it. I'm trying to remember. I got something else to say, and I do. Matter of fact, I got a book coming out. The book is called From the Cradle to the Grave.
Okay.
Chronicles of a Criminalized Class. But it's not what people think it's about. It ain't about the Supreme Team, although it got Supreme Team members in it.
Okay.
Right? It's my upbringing from 10 years old, the Clifford Glover experience that I had, and I shape it all to try to tell the youth to change your viewpoint and your lifestyle. But it also it's about the killings that took place when I was away, about all the people who actually lost their lives, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. Because the Clifford Glover incident actually...
did that make you convert?
The Clifford Glover incident made me think about all the people who've been getting killed unjustly by the police.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep talking about the street.
Well, this is why I was asking about the business aspect of it, because to me, I got into podcasting because of business.
Yeah.
And to hear somebody who ran a multi-million-dollar company, if you can break that down, like, per play, like, where did you get that from? Like, that shit is mind-blowing to me. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I had 3 buildings up on the 16th. Back in the days, the police would give you a building for $1 if it was burnt down. If it was burnt out. So it was 2 buildings over there on 119th and another one. I bought those 2 for $1 a piece at an auction because you have to have real estate. I had a building up there that I bought taxes from somebody. I ain't gonna lie, the dude was a crackhead and he sold me his building for cheap. All I had to do was pay the taxes. I got it and paid him. So I had a building over there and I put a store there. Because of that building, I went to the auction at 103rd Precinct, and I bought 2 buildings for $1. But I got locked up. I was so busy fighting my case. I said, fuck that shit. The other building I used to help with my legal fees too. You feel what I'm saying? So the other 2 I lost. But I had 3 buildings up here.
Wow.
So I was into more than that. Preem had a satellite company before satellites were a big thing. He had a satellite company on Hillside Avenue. He had a taxi joint that had mad limousines. Preem has always been a businessman, right? We always thought about business and getting out that life, right? We didn't want to stay in that crap for the long. And then the documentary Supreme Truth, you know what Preem say? Preem says, we never wanted to do this shit forever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just that when you don't get out right away, something else happened, lock you up, then you're back into life. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But we had all kind of little things, man, businesses and stuff, you know, and whatnot. So, you know, but, you know, we could have it would still been great, even if we didn't do that stuff. You feel me? But I just wanted to mention that, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Anybody got any questions, man?
Yeah.
You answered what we
Yeah, you definitely answered a lot.
You answered it already.
Yeah.
There was one question though that I mean, and this is going back to when you was selling drugs. Like Queens had like a big incident with Pappy Mason when when Eddie Burns, the cop Eddie Burns died. Is it Edward Burns?
Yeah.
Edward Burns.
What was it like selling drugs before and after that period?
When I was incarcerated when that happened, and I didn't come out till later. I came out. That happened in '88, I think. I came out in '89, I think. Right? That's what I think. I came out. I had nothing to do with that incident.
No, I know that,
and I don't even know the truth about what really happened because I wasn't involved in it, and I don't want to say who did this or who did that. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you this. That incident messed up a lot in South Jamaica.
That's really what I was asking. Yeah. Like, what was it like in the streets pre Edward Burns and post Edward Burns?
Pre Edward Burns, the police let you do almost anything when it came to selling drugs. Post Edward Burns, police wasn't letting you do nothing. Period. Point blank in a nutshell. You know, and you know,
because even though you had nothing to do with it, it still affected you.
It affected everybody.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. You know, and you know, we'll address some of that too on my podcast when I get it going.
Irv Gotti.
Yeah.
Another influential brother.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to Irv Gotti. And shout out to Chris Gotti, another good brother we had on the podcast. And, you know, stand up, always kept it a G. It's so crazy that, you know, they're from Hollis and, you know, it's from Southside and, you know, it was always tension back in the days and stuff like that. But then to come together and be such pivotal people in each other's lives at a certain point in time. What are your viewpoints on him passing and what kind of person was he?
I never got to meet Irv Gotti personally, right? That was my uncle's friend, brother, like in a way, you know what I'm saying? And what he liked about Irv was he always told me when he saw me on visits, he liked the fact that Irv, how he took care of his family really, like, you know, that's what he liked about him. That's what drew him to him. But he cared about him. I wish I would have been in the street around that time because I would have probably helped solve a lot of problems. I wouldn't have let it be a problem, you know, because the men do what they want to do, but you can appeal to certain people depending on who you are. But I would have joined forces and put things together. Preem might have been over there, I might have been over here, and we'd have brought it together. We'd have been something huge. Hey, we'd have used them youngsters we did not use them in a bad way, but I'll say use. I would have got with them and we'd have solved problems and made us the biggest on the map. Right. That's what I mean.
Just utilize them in a
yeah, because look, you got talent, you got talent. See, I can't rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
did you meet Chaz William?
I know Chaz.
Rest in peace.
I know Chaz very well. But real quick on Irv, I went to his funeral, and whatnot. It was sad, you know what I'm saying? But I liked how the way it was dignified, the way they did it.
Yeah.
Was very dignifying. It was very, I don't know if that's a word. Very, they laid him to rest properly.
Right.
They represented his children are. I love his children, man.
Yeah.
And also, the people who helped everybody. His family is wonderful, man. I like his family, man. His sister. I met one of his sisters. She was so nice to me when I went to the went from the church to the repost, and she was very nice to me, man, and whatnot. All of them, his whole family, man. You know what I'm saying? So
he was so young, man. Like,
yeah, you gotta take care. You gotta watch what you eat when you're diabetic or whatever. You gotta eat right. You gotta live a certain way. Health is important.
I mean, and I see you take health serious. It don't look like you do no drugs, man. Like,
I don't drink. I don't do no drugs. One time I took a sip of something with somebody because they was there and they wanted me to, and I took it, right? But I don't mess around, and I try to take care of myself. I fell off for about 2 months. I got to get back on my job with working out. So, you know, this particular guy made a comment about me and my daughter. I left I do this, that. That man on that, my daughter was coming to see me 24/7. My people was there, taking care of them, helping me. I would write her letters all the time. I took care of my daughter. I sent money from prison. You know what I'm saying? I love my daughter. You know what I'm saying? And I could have got at him for that in a respectable way.
Yeah.
Where you getting it mixed up at?
Huh?
Where you getting it mixed up at?
These dudes be just running their mouth, man. I'm telling you, these podcasts, that's why I'm starting that joint. And I don't say these dudes' names because you give them too much credit, right? But I will say names about these issues when I start that weekly podcast. Right? I don't even know why I'm doing it. I'm trying to cipher away from them the people that listen to this crap that these dudes talk. And some of them are so bad that people don't even know the history behind some of these guys. There's one particular podcast, right? If they seen the shit that this dude has done in his life, they'll stop even listening to this guy. Well, when you look at my podcast, I'm going to show you. And then you make your own judgment. Do you want to listen to a dude like that? Right. Any further? You feel me? So my point is that, you know, hey, man, it is what it is.
I got one more thing.
Whatever. Shoot, bro. You got me.
He in the mood talking. You might shoot.
This pertains to the Supreme documentary.
You know, real quick, other podcasters ain't gonna let me just like that.
For what?
You know why? They gonna want to control everything instead of letting it be.
Organic.
Done.
Organic. No, I want everything to be said
I do got
thorough
a
as
question.
possible.
After you,
Yeah, go ahead. Shoot away. Let me take my jacket off.
Do your thing, brother. I was watching a Supreme Mcgriff documentary.
Supreme Truth.
Supreme Truth. That's what. Supreme Truth, and he makes several references to a gentleman named Terrence Terrell.
Right.
Now I wasn't, because he was saying like the whole RICO case was built based upon that individual. Like he made the connection to the whole racketeering conspiracy organization. How did I wasn't clear on how did he, like, why was it just like if because it seems like his lawyer didn't let him testify against him to break down his character and whatnot, which was probably wrong. But why was he so pivotal, and how did a guy he didn't know be like the linchpin to
you know what?
make the whole
I'm
case?
glad you asked me that, because that is the question that's what I really want to talk about. My uncle's case.
Yes.
I got carried away and got into other things.
Yeah.
These
But I definitely was bringing that
clowns
because I watched
these so-called clowns calling themselves people trying to teach or educate people that's listening. See, Terrence Terrell was an informant who Preem never met, never knew, was never part of the Supreme team, was never part of what he did in the street, nothing. He never met this dude. They took him because he knew another guy that had nothing to do with Preem per se.
Okay.
Preem never met him. They took this guy, Terrence Terrell, fed him some stuff, put him up there, and he said, "Hey, this is what's going on," and they gave him a whole spill, so him to organize to create a RICO case. Because you gotta have a main informant to do it. This is true. He never met this dude. That's why Preem is so pissed about what happened to him.
Yeah.
He never met this dude. This dude more important than everybody else mentioned in the doc. That's
Right.
why I don't understand why we talking about
Other people.
who's the confident informant, other than the fact that it was said by Preem.
Yeah.
That's not even the issue.
Yeah.
The issue is Terrence Terrell, right?
Right.
And so he never met the guy. You feel me? He never knew the guy.
That's crazy to me. Like,
It's a true bill, bro. You never met this guy. You don't know him. Period. But now the death penalty lawyer, he had a death penalty lawyer, right?
right. That's what they said.
And I want to dispel some myths real quick so people understand something. Preem had a private lawyer that he had hired and gave money to. The government took that lawyer and said he can't use him because we gonna either charge him or he was house counsel or something. They took that lawyer, and now Preem is like, I don't have it to give no money to no other lawyers, right? I'm not doing it. And just Irv and the money was tied up. Irv
They froze
do it.
everything.
But so Preem, he was forced to take a particular lawyer, a death penalty lawyer. Now, death penalty lawyers, they good at beating death penalty cases, meaning they can help you beat the death penalty, but they may not help you win the case. So he didn't fight for Preem to win the case. Right. He only fought for Preem to beat the death penalty. To him, that was a win. I helped you beat the death penalty. In the meantime, Preem trying to beat the whole case.
Right.
So he never questioned Terrence Terrell as to how you really got to know Mr. Mcgriff.
Right.
How do you know him? Because my client's telling you don't know him, but he never asked those questions.
Right.
So he never got a chance to put up his defense. And most of all, Preem wanted to testify on his own behalf, but the lawyer didn't want him to testify on his own behalf. And
now, how does that happen where you know?
Let me give you an example. In my case, when I went to trial and it was time for me to decide whether I wanted to testify on my own behalf or not, the judge asked me, Mr. Miller, you want to testify on your own behalf?
Yes.
And the lawyer answered, but he asked me personally. And I said, no, I'm not testifying on my own behalf. That didn't happen with Preem. Even in Diddy's case,
right?
If you remember, the judge asked Diddy, do you want to testify in your own behalf? And Diddy didn't, he said no. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have.
They never asked.
They didn't ask Preem that. They didn't. And the lawyer was able to just let it pass through.
Right.
Like he didn't want Preem to testify.
Yeah.
And that's what Preem pissed about, because had he been able to speak on his own, he'd be able to, fight some charges.
And definitely throw holes in whatever that story of the CI and stuff like that.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
I do find that to be kind of a shame, because we had Kenny Ennis, and he remember we interviewed Kenny Ennis. He went to jail for 26 years for murder for something he didn't do. I mean, but he still had the right to testify, and he testified and stuff like that.
Sometimes testifying can make all the difference in the world, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Like it helped you.
I'm talking about testifying. I'm talking about testifying in your own defense.
Yeah.
When you're the defendant, that's what I mean. Let me clear that up.
Correct.
I don't mean testify.
Yeah.
I'm talking about testifying in your own defense when you're the defendant and you want to get up there and defend yourself. Sometimes it makes all the difference in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, and whatnot.
And he wanted to.
But right now, Preem is fighting. He feels great. He's working out. He's tip-top shape. He's fighting hard. He's good. Contrary to what one of these clowns, not the podcast, this other whatchamacallit got up there and made a statement about, he's broke. Preem ain't broke. Preem ain't never broke. You know why? He rich here, and too many good people love him for him to be in prison broke. His account is proper. He's good. He's all right. He got a lot of love and a lot of support. So people running around talking shit, talking stuff, saying stupid stuff to these podcasters. Yeah. To merch, whatever it is, talking that crap. People got to be careful, because you make a person like me start getting on these podcasts, and I'll make you look like a fool because there's the lie and there's the truth, and they can't exist in the same room.
That's a fact.
And I'm always going to tell the truth and give it to a person, right?
Right.
You know, only reason why I didn't specifically answer your question, I answered your question, but not specifically, because I'm saving that for when I get on there.
Gotcha.
Because when I answer that question, you're going to see me come with that work.
You're gonna be like
Right.
Pablo knows.
Right.
He gonna come with paperwork.
Right.
Hold on, I got a question too.
Go ahead. But before you say that, one
you.
thing about Prince, and you can be sure about, if I say somebody's a snitch, a rat, or a confidential informant, you best believe I got the proof to prove it. And that's all I'm gonna say. Go ahead.
Let me ask you how you feel about 50, and this is a part 2 question. And the Ghetto Quran. How do you feel about that song?
In the Ghetto Quran, when I heard about it, I felt he was doing what a lot of rappers do. He was giving people, they props.
Right.
I know people was like saying that, yo, man, he's saying too much this and that. Right. Shit, I'm the one that he said the killer.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so I should be the one most offended.
That's a fact.
Right?
Were you?
I wasn't offended because I was charged with killing people and I was found not guilty. So why would I be offended if I was found not guilty? Right. So if a person had a perception that I was one way, the courts had a perception that I was another. So I'm not gonna get mad because he was giving some words and giving some props. It doesn't bother me like that. I didn't even think of it like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, others may have, but that's not me. And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but for real, shit, I kind of liked the song. I mean, if you want...
People use that as a spin.
Yeah.
First of all, let me say something to you.
Nobody never worried about that.
Nobody...
Look at Southside Anthem. Look at Corey D.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Ain't nobody care about that.
That's a fact.
Ain't nobody... Look, let me tell you something. That was some spin. I like the Ghetto Quran, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah.
It ain't bothered me one bit.
But the perception was the other way around.
Right, the other way around.
When you hear talking to Southside, you hear talking to team.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I liked that. That joint was official. And I ain't saying that to be jocking nobody one way or another.
But you know people want to hear it from you.
It's the truth, though.
How you
Yeah.
felt about it.
Yeah, it didn't bother me at all.
No doubt.
It ain't bother me at all.
Are you open to work with him if there was an opportunity?
That's a good question, and I want to hear the answer to that.
Listen, man. Right now, I'm getting my life together. I'm putting the pieces of my life back together.
Okay.
Right? And as long as I can control what the writers put together and be a part of the writing process in anything that I do, and you can best believe it's going to be a Supreme Team series or movie. Because I ain't going to accept no other way. I'm already on top of it. Let me tell you something. Forget that. That's
big,
one
man.
thing. I got so much stuff. I can give a studio 6 years of content, 6 or 7 years of content for their platform. All I gotta do is be connected to the right person or the right studio, and it's off to the races. But I'm patient.
Yeah.
What I won't do is be played by nobody. Because I ain't thirsty. Back in the days, we was making money. Money was our God. We in the streets. We hustling. We doing what we got to do to get paper. I'm living a natural, regular life now. No jewelry. I ain't even got a car. I can drive around, go where I want. Got a car out there now to drive around. It ain't mine. Feel me?
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, I got a car, but it ain't mine. I'm not thirsty for no money. I'm not thirsty to do anything illegal. I'm patient. In the meantime, I'm plotting my course properly to do things that are legal to get to the next step. And any solid individual that's prepared to advance that course, I'm all for it.
Okay.
As long as they respect me,
Right.
respect this vision, and as long as they're solid, I have no problem with that. I hope I answered your question.
You did.
Fully.
Fully.
Yeah.
My last question.
But like I said, I got a good brother and comrade that's with me, man. So
doubt.
yeah, go ahead. What you said?
Our friend of the show, P2. I don't want to say what's your relationship with him, but I remember there was a I felt like you had to have a conversation with him, and because he was saying stuff on the internet about certain things, and his father had to make a statement. And
Yeah, ever since then though, he been P2
Yeah.
been he been good. He been y'all call him P2, I call him Kyle because he's my family.
Kyle, right.
Right.
Yeah.
But that my family, my cousin has been chilling. He do his thing off and on. I try to tell him to chill. I'm not with beefing with people.
Right.
First of all, I don't beef over no damn no camera.
Yeah.
I don't do that. When I speak, anything I say is substantive. I don't throw threats.
Right.
I don't try to be nothing more than what I am.
Right.
Right? And he's good, man. He's good. He probably gonna have it. He was selling coats, some Supreme team wear when I was away.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna be all right. He loves that fashion stuff, so
Right.
that's what he probably gonna be doing.
definitely
You know what I'm
doing.
saying? But he got his lane. He know what he's all right, man. I just tell him once in a while, let me know what you're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? So I can give you some guidance, man. But we don't beef with people, and
Right.
you don't make people your enemies, man.
Right.
You got bad enough. You got enough problem being black in America. You don't need no enemies from your own kind.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
So you gotta really watch how you speak.
Right.
Like me, I don't. I gotta tell you, I don't have no. I understand a lot of the people some of the podcasters and some of the other jokers, and I even understand this. I understand the rats, the confidential. I keep talking about this for a reason, because that's what everybody seems to be on.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the rats, the confidential informants, the snitches. I understand y'all. Y'all want your cake and you want to eat it too. You ain't trying to go to prison, but you want to look like you was a bad motherfucking part with the people who you with, bad individual with the people you was with.
Yeah.
You want to have that reputation of being respected from the street and from entertainment.
But you got to put in the work from both.
No, forget putting in the work. Me, my mouth is always to worry about myself.
Yeah.
But when you start coming out there and opening your mouth and saying false stuff about a man who can't speak for himself, now you're going to make me get in front of the camera. And if I get in front of the camera, I'm not my uncle. I'm going to make sure that the public understand the difference and the meaning of what those things are. And I'm going to provide proof to show them. So be careful the next camera you get in front of when you mention Kenneth Supreme Mcgriff. And that's all I'm going to say.
And with that, it will be spoke and said, forever laid to rest. Bug, you got anything?
Prince, look at me, baby. Yo, I really, really appreciate you. You a solid dude, bro. I was trying to think of a word to really describe you, bro. You're solid, bro. And that's so inspiring to me, bro.
Man.
Know what I'm saying? Being that solid like that. Coming, telling your story, being informative like how you was. Know what I'm saying? You got this this aura that's just like you demand respect without saying you want respect. Know what I'm saying? You very inspiring though, bro. Since you came home and you doing your thing, everything positive, you a stand-up dude, bro. And I appreciate you. I gotta say, I can't think of a word more than appreciative that I am for you for coming here and telling your story and explaining the small platforms to the big platforms. You know what I'm saying? You broke that down and you just inspiring, bro. And I'm just happy that you did this interview with us, bro. And I want to thank Baby Born. You know you my guy, bro. Look at me too, bro. You my guy. You know you my guy, bro. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for even making this happen, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Yes, sir.
G, you got anything?
Yo, Bug always said, "Oh man, I'm glad he stood on his word, man. Like he said he was. He popped up to the shop, man. We appreciate him over here. You already know. And yeah, man.
Hey, look, I'm going to tell y'all, man. Bug out, G, my man, youngster. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all giving me a free reign to speak. Hope I didn't speak too much.
No.
And look, as I said, a lot of people look at people in a certain way. They see your hand like this, they think you want a handout when all you asking for is a hand up. There's a big difference between a handout and a hand up. Most people with their hand up are saying, man, give me a shot and I'm gonna pay you back in full.
Right.
See, it's how you look at it. It's like a cup half full, half empty. You feel me? I've been out here for a year and change. It ain't been easy, but it been great because I ain't in no jail cell.
That's a fact.
I ain't got to commit no crimes.
Word.
I'm not looking over my back. I'm not going like worrying about somebody coming after me, whether it's the police or anybody else. Right? I am a master self-defense though. So, you know what I'm saying? I do pay attention to my surroundings, you know, but I'm focused. And I'm glad y'all let me come here to speak. And I don't care what nobody say. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, you already know
If
that.
nobody want to speak to me because I came here, don't speak to me.
That's a fact.
I'm gone. I'm on somewhere else. But if you want to speak to me, I'm there. And you know, the funny thing is they talk about these small platforms, right? But y'all put up something for me. And I ain't gonna get into the details.
No doubt.
Respectfully, because y'all said, man, I know you've been away a year and a half.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I thank y'all for that.
No doubt.
You know?
Absolutely.
Because y'all thought about a man who been away for 34 years and 6 months. So yeah, you daggone right I came here to speak to y'all.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And guess what? I ain't got to worry about speaking to no other platforms if they don't want me. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm going to have my own.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yo, I ain't the one, man.
Word.
I ain't the one. But there's a lot of them I respect.
Yeah.
And if they reach out to me, I'll be there.
They will.
Prince.
Yeah.
I guess one last word for me. When I think of somebody like you, always, you know, I've always looked up to somebody like you in a sense of you was no nonsense. You took care of business. You handled business. You was organized. When I think of who I would want to be as a man, that's what I want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never met you.
Yeah.
But hearing the stories and who you are and how you carry yourself, the way you dress, the way you treat your body, like I take heed to that. You know, you're not out here doing the drugs you're selling and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. You really just saying you want to be a man of your word. You want to be.
That's why I said solid.
Yeah, you want to be a
Right.
dude who, even if he made mistakes in the past, he's not going to continue to make the same mistakes in the present.
Absolutely.
A man who can accept the responsibility to say, "Yo, listen, I was wrong, man." You know what I'm saying? I ravaged the community, but guess what? Now I'm trying to make amends. You know what I'm saying? Any man who can change is worth speaking to. Sometimes I see on these podcasts people say, "Why are they glorifying this drug deal? Why?" And I even see the podcasters saying this, this, that. They act like they hate so bad on a man who did time because you probably ain't gonna do no time because you probably would be a person who put it on somebody else's back, or that you hate on somebody who came home, did his time like a man who's trying to change his life around and help the community.
Yeah.
How could you hate on somebody like that? And that's why I respect what you said.
Yeah.
And I respect what y'all said, right? But like President Obama once said, and I can't drop the mic, it's time to go, man.
No doubt. Yo, this is Detox. That's Bug Out. That's G-Vast, the one and only Prince. Shout out to P2. It's the Thanks for Asking show. We out. Peace.
What's up, people? This is Prince from the Supreme Team. This is the Thanks for Asking podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you do the same thing when I put mine up. Peace.